There's this video I've been watching. It says how cashiers in Kenya are stealing from supermarkets. If you're working in supermarkets, if you plan to own a supermarket, you should know this trick. Now, at Chwele Supermarket, there are 5 people who are working there. Of course, there are many, but a group of 5 people who are colluding. Now, these ones are cashiers and someone working in the IT department. When a customer buys a product, they are given a receipt and the details are entered into the system to indicate or to record a sale. So once that sale is through, for example, you have bought something like a television which costs 60,000. So what they do, the cashier and the IT officer or cashiers, around 5 of them and the IT officer, you collude so the receipt, that sale can be removed from the system and the receipt can completely disappear, or that copy of the receipt, so that the owner cannot trace the sale. So if the item was worth 60,000, the cashier will go on and take 60,000 from the drawer. They go outside or somewhere and they divide the money. So the supermarket will not know that money has been stolen. This is what is happening in some of the supermarkets in Kenya. And this happened at Chwele Supermarket, which is in Western Kenya. It seems that it's not the only place this theft is happening. So if you own a supermarket or a shop where entries are done to indicate sales, you have to follow closely and see whether some products were sold and they were not recorded. So as the owner, as you trust these people working for you, you must also follow up and see whether the sales were made, correctly recorded, and you received the money. Imagine when you lose, let's say 100,000 every day, Kenyan shillings. Within, let's say 3 years, you'll collapse. Your supermarket will collapse. And you will not even know how it collapsed, because everything is balancing, but money is being stolen. It's hard to detect. And that's what has happened in one of the supermarkets. There was a time I went to a certain supermarket. I realized they have fired all the staff. This is what exactly was happening. They are colluding, the cashiers and the IT officers, to steal in a smart way, and it's happening. And one of the contributing things is the low salaries, because you cannot pay a cashier 20,000 and expect them to collect every day 300,000 and give you all the money. Of course, that is ethical when you give all the money, but some of them will want to come up with new ways to steal. So if you have a business, not necessarily a supermarket, but you have a business that involves that system where you have a receipt, you do sales, and you have IT people, make sure you audit that system and go to the stock, do stock taking and see whether all the products you purchased are available. Because sometimes, if you're not in touch with your business and everything that happens there, you find even the staff can buy their own product and sell them, leave yours to rot on the shelves. that is happening, especially wines and spirits shop, chemists, and many other shops where the owner is not completely in touch. I've seen even hardware shops. The workers buy their own product and sell them fast. If it is 100 cement, they sell that one. Once they complete, then they start selling yours. So you find that we're making losses. And those are some of the evils that happen in Kenya. And that is why you'll find people are jobless and you wonder why. They have very good qualifications and they are jobless. There's a reason. And in Kenya, there are jobs, but people doing those jobs are not there. Because you give someone work to do, all they think of is how to steal from you. Because they think they're making you richer. They don't think of the work that you have given them to do. And that's why most people are jobless. Someone, for example, working in a bank, if you have been fired because of fraud, you have worked for a bank for 10 years, then your CV is destroyed. There's nowhere you can get a job in Kenya. Unless it's a private institution, company, which does not want to get a recommendation. It does not require recommendation. But it's hard to get a job, and that's why most people are jobless. That's why companies find it hard to get employees. That's why it's hard, and they fear employing new people. That's why you find some companies opt to work with some specific few individuals who are loyal, who don't have that anger or hunger for or thirst for stealing from employers. It is hard to find those people, and that is what's happening in the country.